Oh, hello. Oh, look at. Okay. How are you all? What's over here? I get like a beep to get me going. Anyway, so on the side here, I've just got a new poster that's come from the Welsh department. So I'm going to say croeso, which means welcome, and I'm not going to say Sevok because that'd be stand up, but or I could say Estevok to sit down, or I could say Paciolan to pack up. All these things I now know, right, because of our brilliant Welsh department. I'm loving it. Anyway, right, there's the Welsh bit. Second thing, I wasn't in school this week very often. So if your children were saying Mr. Robinson hasn't been in, it's because it's true. I haven't been there. And the reason was I was working for Welsh Government or working with Welsh Government and meeting Jeremy Miles, the Education Minister, with the main idea of we're a group of six heads who've been asked or tasked with the idea of reducing the attainment gap between pupils in poverty and not in poverty. And the thing is, that attainment gap has been the same for 90 years. So all these different strategies that people have tried to do, they haven't actually had that much of an impact. But the one thing that was interesting was we have been selling the idea of mixed ability because we really believe in it. And more schools now of that group and also the schools that we help are moving towards mixed ability. Now, we're not just doing it based on we think it's a good idea. You know, I'm doing my doctorate on the subject. I've just done my first year of it, which I passed, which is good. And basically the idea is that the one concern you have with mixed abilities is does it push the most able on, which is why we really push the Aspire programme, because mixed ability plus Aspire should lead to outstanding results for all. And that is what we're going for. And that's the reasoning behind what we do. But what was really great to see was Whitmore and now other schools are trying to do the same because they're seeing the benefits here and they want to try and replicate it. There was that, right? So what do we do today? Today was an inset day. Now on inset days, you might think to yourself, those teachers have a lovely time, don't they? Here's me with my child for 3 days, but it's not like that. On inset days, we work really hard. So I talked to the staff this morning about the 4 things that we're pushing this year, next year, that I think will make huge changes to the school. And we'll talk about 2 of those things now. So the first thing I want to talk about is assessment week. Now I mentioned it last week, but the basic premise is that one of the biggest impactors on whether people do well or not. First, we said last time that it's about attendance. And the second thing is revision. Now, if you've looked at the new exam specs that have come out for, or the new exam plans for GCSEs from the Welsh Government, they're fundamentally the same as what they've always been. There's a little bit more coursework, but exams still matter. And if you want to do well in exams, you have to revise. That's a real skill. So next year, the week before Christmas, will be your assessments for every pupil. And the 4 or 5 weeks before that, all we'll focus on in school is the ability for pupils to revise and to have that skill, that independent skill, because we're teaching really good lessons at the minute. If we can get that little bit on top of it, something really special could happen. So I'm excited about that. The second thing that we're really pushing is the sixth form. Now, I think we've got a great sixth form, but I want it to be exceptional. And there's things we're adding next year that we haven't done before. So we're adding prefects, which we haven't had before. And the second thing we're adding is extracurricular. A lot more extracurricular for sixth form involved in terms of being involved with clubs, as in maybe running clubs, but also clubs for themselves. And the final thing is we're going to have Aspire in the sixth form, because I want to make sure that pupils who should be going to Russell Group universities or Oxford or Cambridge definitely get there. I think that's something that it's not just about your grades. So we're going to make sure they're going to get their grades. We've got all these extra things that we're going to be putting in place that I won't talk about now, but they are great. But it's not just about the grades, it's about the experiences and the confidence you have in yourself. And we're adding all those elements at 2. So you'll see a huge difference if you go to our sixth form. Now, when I say it's going to be an Aspire thing, the Aspire pupils will have to do everything. There will be no choice. But there'll be no discounting for pupils who are not in Aspire. If someone who's not in Aspire wants to do those things, of course they can. But I really want that idea of the Aspire pupils. There is no choice. You go into the sixth form, we're going to do these extra things for you. It's going to cost lots of money. It's going to take a lot of time, but it's going to make a difference. Okay, so that's our plan. The other 2 things that we're talking about don't really matter to you right now, so I'll leave them. They're basically about books, and they're about something called SMID, which is the worst named product of all time, but SMID is basically about doing data better. I've got 16 seconds left, so I'm going to say I've got a weekend ahead of me where I have got 2, and I mean that, 2 children's parties to go to. Dreadful. Hope you have a nice weekend. Cheers. Bye.